this affair represents, this ceremony is a tribute to our ancestors for their struggle, for what they endured, and being captured from their homeland in Africa to brought to the shores of America. They're the lost souls that gave their life so that we would be here today. In celebration, we have this libation ceremony traditionally to honor them. We've been celebrating Kwanzaa for over 35 years. This is our second annual libation ceremony open to the public to come in and pay tribute. And we should educate our children to pass down that this street, A.W. Willis, used to be named Auction Street. And this is the location in which the slave block stood when the slave ships ported on the riverside and brought to this location to be sold. And this street has been renamed A.W. Willis Boulevard, but this was Auction Street. That in order for the slaves, when they left Africa through the transatlantic slave trade, the islands were the locations where there was the breaking grounds in most of the port city, from Jamestown, West Virginia, to New Orleans. They had to come up by ship. And this location, the closest, if we can go back in time and look at the location, that was the port of the location with the ship that was as close as they could come up before going into shallow water. And that's where they unloaded the slaves and was brought to this area to be sold. You know, most of the slaves had to be examined just like animals. If they were diseased or if they didn't have good teeth, they were actually the property of the people who were coming to buy them. So they had to have a location to house them before the slave owners could travel from the southern plantations for the new property of humans that they needed to work the plantations. So therefore, yes, that building actually existed because once they left the ships, they had to put them in a location. The awareness, the respect for what our people had to go through. To educate our children, we have to pass what happened to us for generations to come. And if we don't tell the story, it won't ever get told.
This stone represents a time in our history when we had let our guards down, along with a group of people who saw an opportunity to take advantage of a whole nation of people and enslave them, their minds, their bodies, their souls, and their spirit, and deny them the opportunities that every human being on the planet deserves. Also, it represents an opportunity going forward as a reminder that this will and never and should not ever happen again. And from this point going forward, we can begin to become the people who we once were, those who trans-navigated the whole planet and gave to the world math and science and technology and a way of counting and an alphabetic system and the creation of civilizations all over the world. So it is a reminder of two things that we both have to see as reality and move forward from it. As we've always done, we have to go in this language to the streets and take it to the people who are moving back and forth from their jobs, from their homes, from their schools, both young and old, and take it to them in a way that they can understand and accept. When we talk to the people in a very realistic sense, freedom, liberation, history, culture, language, then they understand those kinds of languages rather than the political talk, the spiritual, the religious talk that we're getting today.